Hi, this is John Gillespie and welcome to ACCA F5 Questions and Answer. In today's lesson I'm going to go over a question from the F5 Pilot paper that can be found on the ACCAglobal.com website, and the question is question 1, triple limited. So this is the paper that you'll find on the site. So if you go to the paper, you'll see the question there. It's called triple. So what I'd like you to do is to take a moment to read that question, and then we'll come back. In the interest of time saving, I'm not going to read it all through. I'm just going to show you how to do it. So just read the first part and we'll come back then. The requirement is to calculate the cost per unit for each product using traditional methods, i.e. absorption costing, on the basis of machine hours, we're told. So what we'll do is we'll have a look and see how we will do that. So looking at how to do a cost card, we need to do cost cards for each of the products. So D, C and P. Okay, so the first thing is materials. Next item on a cost card is labor. That gives us prime cost. And then we have overheads. So materials given in the question, so we just pick that straight up and put the figures straight in there. Labor is at 6 per hour, and we're told that it's a half an hour for P, 1.5 hours for C, and 1 hour for P. So that works out at a half times 6 is 3, 9 and 6. That gives us the prime costs that we can add up at this stage. 23, 21, 31. It's usually good practice to actually add the prime costs together. So now for the overheads, we're told it's at 28 per machine hour, and the times for machine hours are 1.5 hours for D, 1 hour for C, and 3 hours for P. So 1.5 times 28 is 42, 28 and 84. Add it up and we get our total cost, 65, 49 and 115. And that's all that's required for part A of the question. Part B of the question asks you to calculate the cost per unit for each item using ABC principles, working to 2 decimal places in your answer. So in this case, we need to also calculate cost cards, but now the cost cards are prepared under ABC. So why not start with that, showing the same D, C and P. We can put in the prime costs from above. There's marks for this, so don't forget to do it. Get it out of the way as quickly as you can. The prime cost doesn't change regardless of whether we use the traditional absorption costing method or activity-based costing methods. So prime costs are the same as above. The overheads, however, overheads on the basis of ABC will need to be calculated in a different manner. And the first stage in relation to that is to have a look at calculating the cost per unit driver. So to do that, what we need to do is have a look at the information that's provided in the question in relation to the overheads. So what we're told is we have activities, so we have setups, machining, material handling and inspections. I'm abbreviating these, that's quite acceptable. we're told that the cost percentage is 35, 20, 15 and 30. That obviously adds to 100. And the cost pools can be calculated from these percentages. The total overheads come to 654,500, and working out the percentages, all we do is 35% of that number is 229,075, and then we calculate the rest. So having identified the cost pools here, we can now identify what the cost driver is for each. So that's setups. The number of drivers for setups, there's 670 in total, so therefore 229.75 divided by 670 gives us a number of 341.90, we'll say, rounded to the nearest decimal. And we continue like this to work out the rest of the figures. So machine hours would be the cost driver for machining. Material movements would be the cost drivers there, and inspections would be the cost driver there. So the only difficult one here we can put in, we're given this information from the question, and we can work out again the cost driver information, which is 818.13 and 196.13, beg your pardon, 35. And this one, the number of machine hours calculated as 23,375. So therefore the rate per machine hour is 5.60. The next step is to calculate the total amount of overhead consumed by each product in total. And for this we need a tabular working, and it's best to set this out in one table if you can. However, you do need to be careful with your workings so that you can fit it all in. And the layout of the table would be the overhead, next would be the activity, the number of activities that is, and then we would have the cost. That's for each product. So here we want to do product D. Then we have activity and cost for product C, activity and cost for product P, and then a total where we can add the totals together to ensure that we've actually got the correct amount of overheads allocated. So that's set up, machinery, material handling and inspection. So the number of activities for each product are going to work out like this. So 75 setups for product D, 1250 for product C, it's 115 for product C and 480 for product D. So we complete the table like that. For the complete table, have a look at part 2 of this particular exercise where I'll complete the question. Thank you for your time, and please tune in to part 2.